I've been checking out Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the consensus seems to be the same. Everybody's talking about why people are tearing up their neighborhoods, why they're tearing up their own properties, why they're tearing up their community. Truth be told, the black people in Baltimore do not own those neighborhoods. The black people in Baltimore do not own anything there. It's very rare that in those neighborhoods there are black-owned businesses. Most of those businesses are owned by Arabs, Africans, and the Chinese. That's a fact. So don't give me that why they tearing up their own business. If you ask me, this is a great opportunity for when they do burn stuff down, for intelligent, black, young-minded brothers can come up and say, okay, it's gone. Now this is how we can rebuild our neighborhoods the way we think they should be built. Because at the end of the day, they need a new blueprint. Baltimore has been messed up since the 80s, since the 70s. But I purposely want to go back to the 80s because nobody's talking about this particular instance. Nobody remembers that in the 1980s, Oliver North and President Ronald Reagan intentionally pushed crack cocaine into Baltimore, Maryland, and other predominantly black cities around the United States. And when they got exposed, they tried to flip it around and make arrest the people who were selling crack cocaine, and they used that same money from those drug arrests to fund the Nicaraguan cocaine lords. That's a fact. Look it up. All right. So to bring it full circle, the people who are out there protesting right now are probably between the ages of 15 and 35. All right. 15 and 35. Remember that number. All right. From 1984 until around the mid 90s, black people in these predominantly black cities were jacked up. Heroin, crack cocaine, crack. It was crazy. And everybody knows that. So the truth be told is, the kids who are out there protesting right now, these are the children of those mothers that the government got addicted to crack cocaine in the 80s. These are their children, right? These are the children of the black men who were locked up in the 1980s for selling crack cocaine for 10, 15, 20 years. These are their children, right? So if the men are gone, these children now, they do not have any guidance. They weren't raised with any guidance. They were not raised with anybody to tell them that you don't commit a crime. They weren't raised with anybody telling them that you don't run from police, right? These are the children, right? The black lady who publicly, slapped her son for being a part of the riots. She said on CNN that she was a single mother and she did not want her son to be Freddie Gray. So, again, he's a product, probably, if he's 16 years old, he's probably a product of this 1980 cocaine epidemic. I guarantee you. He's a product of this. But don't nobody want to talk about that. Now, most of them kids born in the 1980s in those cities, DC, Baltimore, LA, Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, most of them kids were crack babies, which means they had mental issues, right? Which means if they're out there riding in the streets because they're angry, if you tell them to stop once or twice, they probably can't really comprehend on the level of stopping immediately. You know what I'm saying? It takes a little time for them to comprehend that, okay, we should stop. And personally, I ain't really sweating them out there tearing nothing up. Because like I said, they don't own nothing over there. They don't own nothing in Baltimore. And that's sad. That is a predominantly black city. And that mayor, she got to go. Because she done slipped up one too many times. I'm not saying she's not for the people. I'm just saying right now, she's not doing the right thing. Because all we want is answers. We know that from the time he was in that paddy wagon, something happened. And ain't nobody saying nothing. And that's unfair. It's unfair to that young man. It's unfair to his family. It's unfair to tell people, don't riot, don't be violent, when they were violent. The reason we're going through this is because they were violent. And I'm just tired of it. And they tired of it. And it's only a matter of time before this thing hits Durham, North Carolina. It's only a matter of time before this thing hits Houston, Texas, Miami, Florida, Detroit, Michigan. It's only a matter of time before this thing hits all major cities that are predominantly African American. It's only a matter of time. And I'm telling y'all, when it hits the fan, it's a wrap. They're going to have to call the National Guard. They're going to have to call any and every power to stop the black people from starting a revolution. Because it's sad. It's scary. It's scary for anybody who's raising a son. It's scary for any wife who has a black husband. It's scary for any mother who has a black son. You just don't know what's going to happen. And it's unfair that when injustices are brought to us, when we act, violent or frustrated, we get labeled thugs. We get labeled criminals. A man in Baltimore was stealing toilet paper. Now, if he goes in the store and he's looting and he's stealing toilet paper, that means this man probably poor. Because why didn't he get chips, soda, candy? He got toilet paper. That means I'm so poor that the necessities I can't afford, so I'm going to get this toilet paper. But people don't look at it like that. People look at it like, Look at these thugs, look at these criminals stealing toilet paper, and that's unfair. It's unfair because everybody knows that it's systematic. These things go full circle. Oliver North, Ronald Reagan, the chickens are coming home to roost. Those people you got addicted to crack cocaine in the 80s, these are their children. These are their children. And most of their parents are still addicted to crack cocaine. So most of these children they have no parents. They're mothers, they're fatherless. So when they're in the streets and you wondering why they go home, where they going home to? They ain't got no home. They've been living with friends for years. And y'all want to sit and tell us that, you know, we violent, we thugs, we criminals? No, the criminals are y'all. The criminals are the media. The criminals are these white folks who stole any and everything. You know, those black people in Baltimore were not allowed to build their own community because when they even got halfway there, you took it. They took it. They took it. They figured out ways to come in and manipulate. So if any entrepreneur in Baltimore started to come up, they took it. So don't tell me that just because a few blacks have made it out and are successful, they're an exception. So that anybody that got an issue with the way people are responding in Baltimore, I don't want to hear that. Because this is frustration built up over time. How else are we supposed to respond? Singing "We Shall Overcome" don't get us nothing but beat up again. Praying don't get us nothing but beat up again. At some point, we got to let people know that when you bring harm to us, we bring harm to you or to things that you love. We're going to take an L for sure. In a week, it's probably some businesses that they burnt down, they're probably going to wish they didn't burn down. But guess what? That's life. And it's a lesson, it's a teachable moment. But I guarantee you, the next time a police officer run up in a black neighborhood and think he going to snatch a black man up and think black men are not going to say nothing, he'll think twice. The mayor needs to say something. I don't care what she needs to say. She's fired him. She needs to say, I'm not doing nothing. She needs to say something. Because doing nothing is the worst thing she could possibly do. We're trying to get this woman a chance because she's a black woman. She's a sister. And hey, I don't live in Baltimore, but from the looks of it, you know, before today, she wasn't doing a bad job. But she better do something. I'm telling y'all, if she don't do something, she out of here the first term. And any black elected official that's not stepping forward saying we need answers, they out of there too. So all I'm saying is to my people in Baltimore, stay strong, keep fighting, don't let up, give them everything you got. Make sure that before everything is said and done, you got answers to the questions that you've been asking. I promise you, if you keep your foot on their necks, they're not gonna keep doing this. Period. Y'all stay up, man. Relltalk.